Hi guys, hope everyone's well. As promised, just coming in with an update on the 4 boards I've been shaping and what I've been up to. There's the 710 here, and I've been working on a longboard behind me. That's going to be a 9-1. I won't talk too much about that because all I've done is I've skinned the top, taken the thickness out of the bottom and cut the outline template. That was basically based on a board, roughly based on a board I bought a while back that I bought the board and it had a defective fin box. I put the FCS2 side bites in and out, and the minute you pull them out it just cracked the glass all the way around. So I'm guessing someone probably didn't reinforce that properly with patches. So yeah, that's what happens sometimes when things are made not so well and cheaper places to manufacture. So yeah, unfortunate. I really like the look of the board and the rocker and the shape, so I thought I'd try and do my own. Yeah, first up, I've been working on this wee 710 for a while, and there's a bit of a story behind this. It's a pretty cool story. So a friend of mine, Sam Manana Surfboards, or Manana Surfboards if you pronounce it properly, he's the guy who I shape with, and he's been mentoring me, and I get my blanks and everything with him, and yeah, he's the one with the shaping bay. Really good guy. He'd had a couple of pieces of artwork from this guy Mark Waddleton, and I'd never actually met him myself, and I saw one of the boards that Sam got, and I started following him on Instagram, and then I saw an Instagram post and he was saying, "Oh, I'd really like to paint an alien on a board." And I was like, I just messaged him and said, "Hey, I've got a board. If you want to do it, I'd be keen. Let's get together and see what you think." And he was like, "Yeah, man, let's do it." So yeah, really nice guy, super talented. I'll put the link to his Instagram. I'll just put his name down there. Mark Waddleton it is, but I'll type it out so you can search it. The guy's incredible. Hey, really nice guy. He's another English guy, and he's been doing art for years. He does amazing spray artwork, airbrush work. Sorry. Yeah, and just a really great guy. So we collabed on this. So this is what my 710 now has on the bottom from Mark, and obviously I'm rather cautious about handling it, and I really want to make sure I do an extremely good job of glassing it. So yeah, just needs a little bit of a clean up. This just got a bit of paint to clean off the nose, and that's pretty much it. But this one's 710. Ooh, I barely don't want to touch this for the rocker. Hey, so it's got a nice like fairly flat rocker, nice foil. I took the nose and tail down a little bit, and I think I did a pretty good job on the rails this time, so I'm pretty stoked with that. There we go, that's the front side. Intention is for this to be a quad with a slider box, so it'll have a single fin box as well as the quad setup. Can't remember the dims exactly, but it's 710. I think it's around 22, and I can't remember the nose and tail, but obviously you can see the shape, you can see the rocker. So yeah, I haven't had anything around the 8 foot mark for a long time. I ride like a 7 as my mid length, and then my short board is like 6.0, 510 to 6.4 kind of thing. And then I kind of go straight up to a longboard. I used to quite like, I had like an Almerix Waterhog years back in a 710, and that was quite a cool board, but it was a thruster. So yeah, I thought something maybe in a similar size, but maybe a little bit more kind of retro inspired. A bit like everyone seems to be going to these days, you know, like the Seaside Beyond and the CI and the Smooth Operator from Lost, like that kind of thing, but just a little bit longer and to suit my dimensions. So yeah, I think this should be pretty fun. Probably get it out on the days when it's you know, not quite longboard material, but you're definitely not going to get a short board going. And I think when you get to 710, you just got to accept that you can't duck dive it, and you riding it like a short longboard, I guess, was what I have in mind. Whereas my mid-lengths, I like to still be able to just duck dive my mid-length and be able to ride them a little bit closer towards the short board, but obviously it's not going to be like a short board. So yeah, there we go. That's the outline. There's the rocker. So I'm really pleased with it, really pleased with the shape, and this amazing airbrush that Mark's done is absolutely insane. So I'll probably put a picture on with it the right way up so you can have a bit of a good look at it. I think I've got a good picture of Mark's Instagram after he painted it. So yeah, check out Mark's page. He's a really good guy. That's the first one up. Right, so into the short boards. Next one I did was I really wanted to make something a little bit more refined than what I'm capable of riding, basically. And one of my friends locally, he's a really good surfer, and I'd sort of been thinking about broaching the idea of making a board for him for a while. And yeah, we ended up chatting one day and decided to go for it. So yeah, I had a couple of templates that I'd been working on. Went and checked out a couple of his boards. He's a really good surfer. He can ride a lot lower volume than me. So yeah, I was quite keen to see how I did it, trying to shape something a bit more refined, because obviously it's easier to make a bulkier board, but once you start getting into more of a short board hybrid kind of shape, you have to refine stuff a bit more. So I kind of wanted a bit of a challenge. So yeah, we had a look at a couple of his boards. Figured out what the thickness was like, the rails, the width. I went to and fro and I think I drew about 6 templates in the end. So he's actually got a really good eye. He's got a really good eye for what he wants, and you know, he's quite particular between his boards, and he's very specific about the volume when he gets down to the boards that he wants to ride when it's half decent. So yeah, so I came up with a diamond tail, and he was talking about one in a 2+1 setup, so we decided to turn it into a step tail. So we ended up with basically this step diamond that's going to be a 2+1. I'm really happy with this board. It's come out like really well, so I just hope all the glassing and all the other stages go really well. So yeah, this one's 5'10". I think it was like 21 and a half, 21 and 3/4. Can't quite remember on the width, but yeah, I think his fish was like coming in at 21 and a half, so it might even be a bit under 21 and a half. I'm just not 100% sure. And we want to leave it completely blank with no dimensions, no writing or anything, so it won't matter in the end. But it was we tried to get exactly between his fish and his hybrid that he rides, basically. So yeah, and it's 2.5 thick, so it's quite thin for what I'm used to, and I don't know, I guess at the volume, I'm guessing it's probably like a 32 litre board or something. You know, I'm used to looking at 40 litre boards, so we just toed and froed this week, and he had a quick look as we were going through, getting towards the end, and he's like, oh, can you just refine the rails a bit more? So I went back and skimmed it a little bit more and skimmed it a little bit more. So yeah, but it's come out really well. It's come out with a nice, the rocker's really nice and flat. We ended up with a little bit full up in the nose still, which I really like. It's sort of like semi-beaky, but not too beaky. There's a lot of roll in the deck, and we got quite, you know, to me these are very refined rails. And then really interesting, the tail got quite hard, so there's like quite a lot of shaping gone on in that tail. So as you can see, like the rocker there. So what I'll be doing for the fins is I'm going to copy my MR setup, basically. So what MR usually does is, I think it's 10 1/4 to the front 2 fins, so the twin fin, and then the stabilizers in similar position to a thruster, but not quite. So where the thruster fins would normally be like maybe like here, the MR fins are just, I think it's just like 3/4 of an inch or something back. And I love the way my Cali twin rides, so I was like let's stick with the MR positioning, because MR's got it right for the last 40 years, so whatever it's been. So yeah, why change it? So I'm really happy with this. We ended up with it's quite a mellow single concave just here under the front foot, sort of gets to its deepest just under the front foot. And then what I wanted to do from there is there's a double through the fins, and that breaks out into a V, so the double transitions out here and the V starts kicking in here. So I really wanted to get the V blended with the wing rather than trying to make it behind the wing. I wanted to keep it clean, so I basically made a V in it, and then I've made the double inside that, so the double starts mellowing out as it gets off the V off the very end of the tail, and it just becomes like just a V off the end of the tail. So yeah, really pleased with this board. It's come out really well, and I hope it goes well. Like everybody's been commenting on the shape, and I think it's probably been done before, no doubt, but I only found a couple of pictures of diamond step tails on the internet. So yeah, very pleased indeed with this. So here's the one for me. This one's kind of still in progress, so it's just straight chopped at the end of the tail at the minute. I've still got to blend that in. I got to finish the rails off, just got to tidy the nose up a little bit and finish sand it. But this one is I'm pretty sure it's 5'11", 22 wide, and I can't remember what it is up in the nose. I think it's something like 16 in the nose and 16 and a half, 17 in it, something like that. But it's quite a wide, it's a fairly wide template. It's similar to the template I was working on with the diamond step to start with, without a step, but a wider version of that. So they that's why I ended up with like 2 diamond tail looking boards. So again, we got a pretty flat rocker, good bit of meat carried in the nose. I've got quite a chunky rail on mine. Obviously the end of that tail I've still got to round off and make that look nice, and then the nose just going to get that a little bit tidier at the front and blend the rail in. It's just a bit too beaky at the minute. Nice flat rocker. And then on the back, same sort of thing, got a single concave through here, and I've just started my V double a little bit earlier on this one, just to kick the tail rocker up a little bit more, and a double through the fins. This one will be set up as a quad, and I'm guessing it'll probably finish up just under 40 litres, I'd say, probably looking at it. It's always hard to tell until you stick the glass on as well. You don't know how much the thickness is gonna look different, and then like obviously when you see these, when you've just cut the outline, if you've not put the rail on it yet, it's really hard to understand how it looks at that stage versus how it's going to look finished once you put this rounded rail on, because they look really huge when you've just cut the first outline. So yeah, pretty pleased with that too. So it's sort of along the similar lines, just a nice smooth clean shape, diamond tail, low rocker, good bit of volume, short. Should be fun, kind of a small wave design. Pretty stoked with this one as well. So yeah, that's probably about it for today. Cheers for watching, guys. Thanks to all the guys that we've been chatting to on Instagram. Good to see people are still checking out boards. I think there's a few people putting orders in or about to put orders in when people come back to work and all the rest of it, and just been helping a couple of guys out with specs and stuff. So all really nice guys. That's the great thing about this, you know, there's such a community of just like friendly, easygoing, just genuine people, and those are the people I really like to hear from. So cheers for getting in touch, and yeah, stay well, and hopefully we'll all be surfing soon. I know here in New Zealand we can't surf at the minute, and when it drops to level 3, if that's soon, I think we should be alright. So maybe in the next 2 to 4 weeks we should be surfing and getting back to a bit more normality work-wise and everything. So yeah, cheers for watching, guys. Thanks for supporting the channel, and hope you enjoy this, and we'll see you soon.